his young stalwarts to carry the load for him. Greg Schrader, probably the most experienced person on that team with 10 Super Leagues under his belt. Sam Ogden, as I said, the captain, also with 10 Super Leagues under his belt. The rest of the team on Sneak, which is in white left of screen, averaging probably less than 3 or less Super League games amongst them. Meanwhile, on Flatball Z, Wilson Tran's team, we probably got more of an average in above 5 at the very least. David Sanderson amongst the most experienced, having played 10 Super Leagues and available for all matches in the Super League season. So it'll be an interesting team. Who would you pick for this matchup, Andy?
I would say, at first glance, I didn't think Wilson's team quite had what it took. If I had to pick a team out of the 4 that was weakest, but I actually looked at it again last night, and I think they look all right. I think they should have it here, but I do think these 2 teams are potentially the weakest.
So we're playing under lights.
Very close.
Fletcher with the Paul Sanderson picks it up to Foley and back to Sanderson in the middle. Looks like a zone look being put on by White to start off with. Foley cheeky over the top there to Tran. Up the line to Brill. He's been doing a lot of good work with Outbreak, which is bringing you this Super League season.
Sando with the disc. A lot of people thought maybe he was a bit over-picked. A little bit picked too high, maybe. Foley unfortunately drops it, and he's on the big fella.
So Sanderson picked at number 4.
Oh, movement from the front of the stack. No dump until
Fletcher to Doe.
Saw something. Ooh.
Ang lays out. He's taken some big grabs recently to bring his teams home locally. That was a lovely dive. Like to see him putting his body on the line, although it does look a bit injured. He's injured at the moment.
Oh, and there's someone free, but Greg doesn't mind.
Yeah, Aiden Mitchell in space there. Does the team thing, dumps it back to Foley. Nice little fix. Got a bit of float on it. Brill toes that one in. I think. Maybe an out call there. Don't know who's sure who's calling that. You can see there on the action replay, yeah, it's a bit hard to see. We've got the white cones there, which give us a bit of perspective.
Okay, it's back in.
Called in. Brill with a disc to Foley. They might swing across to Tran.
Rob doing his typical generating cuts in the middle.
Very congested in that front corner of the end zone there.
Very experienced. I think that's why he was picked so high.
Yeah, I think that'll show. He's just got good experience all over the field. He can be a good utility, cutting, handling, whatever he wants.
He was definitely a tough one when picking. You didn't know exactly where to place him. Even watching him in Div 2, it's hard because he hasn't played at this level for a while, so it's hard to place him. But he has the experience and he has the know-how, and he's played at a very high level before, so he showed it there.
Yeah, he'll definitely be bringing this blue team home, I'm sure.
I'm glad I picked blue.
Yeah, I think you're on a winner there.
What is he?
So yeah, blue get the first score of this game, Flatball Z.
Other players to look for on blue, the rookie, I think he's a rookie, Jay. He was really impressive in the early outbreak trainings and at the end of league. Turned a few heads. Scott McKenzie's always about. Handy player.
Yeah, this is his 8th Super League game.
Well. Yeah.
Veteran of the series.
Wow, there you go.
Picks himself as a handler role, but obviously very good in that midfield cutting position.
Still probably very quick as well.
Used to be the quickest player in South Australia for a
Never
long time.
officially, though. Never officially. I still hold the title officially.
I'd like you to talk to him about that in his face and see how that blows up.
ULTI need to hold another Spirits in Disguise where they announce the winner officially. Interesting zone here. Scott not looking around, but he... Oh, yep. Big backwards dump.
Yeah, back to Doe. Bit slow on that swing to Mock. Mock
Brill.
with a little give go back to Doe. That's floated.
Up in the air, but Brill decided to get in front of him. Not taking the arounds. Letting him muck around with it back there.
Ramadan gets in the action. That's good to see.
And they're happy to just keep moving it.
There was a lot of static upfield movement, as in static none.
Ooh.
Movement none.
They always make you nervous, those big
now
hammers
they've
across.
got it. Ang's got it. Ramadan. Back to Mock on the closer sideline. Fakes the hammer, but does it across field instead.
And there it is. That's why they make me nervous.
Yeah, Fletcher probably could have got that one. I think at the end, a bit of loose footing, slipped going towards that. I think it was still catchable for him.
Foley flick expert, but no. Dang.
I think that was all clean there. Swart trying to go up through it and going up early, causing Swart to go up early as well, and it's a turnover. So White will get it back. Blue have time to put the zone on though.
Not really weather for Huck and Set so much, but...
Yeah, we'll see how anxious these players get. Now, they should give go in that Mock. That's what we want to see. Schrader needs to give go as well, but he doesn't. Really close for the backward dump. Little push pass to Doe. Back to Schrader. Through the zone. That's what we want to see. Edgeworth out. Steadies it. Gives it back to Fletcher. Nice little inside break back to Doe and across to Schrader. Now they're working it more up the field, just over midway, halfway at the moment.
Interesting that Greg's opting to stay back and handle here, I guess, without their captain.
Oh, and Canlis almost got a finger D on that one. Nice zippy.
Good round, good ground maker.
Schrader. Edgeworth still in that back corner. If they can keep the disc over here and keep the defence over here, they might see a Schrader hammer to Edgeworth. Tim Stevens lurking in the background, wanting to get his hand on that. Ramadan pushing it ever so close to that front of the end zone line. Again, a few fakes out there. A lot of defenders around. Now that open it up, that's the one we want to see. A bit slow on that. I think Doe probably could have gone across, but there's the hammer. Edgeworth this corner.
Nice. Without the wind, it's very hard to stop the hammer, but, I mean, it was effective. They got a turn out of it, and they still make me nervous.
So Sneak answer back, and both teams hold serve. Flatball's E1, Sneak 1.
Should have picked White.
We're going to bounce back and forth on who we should have picked, I think, in the commentary box here.
No, that zone was actually surprisingly effective.
It was, I agree.
Slightly more wind than what there was in the earlier game, but not much at all.
Yeah, I won't let you know the scores of that earlier game. We'll ask you just to go to the ULTI.TV site, have a look at that one.
Oh, it was a ripper.
It was a ripper game, it really was. Not under lights like this one is though. It's a lovely evening here in Adelaide, South Australia. Perfect conditions for almost sunset ultimate, but the sun has just gone down.
Super League back under lights, the way it should be.
Oh, we love that.
Very exciting.
We love that.
Having a bit of a crowd. It's good to have the two separate time slots.
Absolutely. We had a bit of barbecue before going on, so unfortunately that's not going to be here each week. Would be nice to have that out. Bit of snag sausages and a beer on the sideline.
City in the background. Beautiful night.
Beautiful lights there. Fletcher with another pull. Angles it nicely. Fold it. Ho-ho. Almost let that one through the hands, but does get it back.
Lovely confidence. Big target. Nothing.
Mackenzie with the disc in hand. Probably elect to dump it, and he does. Wine looking for a high release flick. Stevens in the middle there. Mitchell. McKenzie on the far side, crowned up against it. P on the mark. Foley with an easy under. Ang on the mark for Foley.
Gets the easy around and the swing. They're opting for the no inside, more of a straight up force.
Yeah, they've dropped the zone.
There's a chance. No, too easy dump.
Nice inside to Brill. White has to lay out and he makes the grab. That's what we love to see from White.
Tricky, but I reckon, yeah, his elbow definitely hit before the line, I'd say.
You see on the replay, Sanderson, Foley inside to Brill. See
Very
the cut.
nice flick here.
Just lowers the legs, lowers the body.
And yeah, easy. Great grab. Rob is a weapon when he has players like Foley around who can send it, and he feels confident that they will when he goes. So
absolutely.
And he can just get under and under and under because they're constantly worrying about him going deep.
So it's early days yet, but I'd love to see this training. That's going to make for a ripper end finish to this game if we can have a close score. Scores 2 to Flatball Z in blue to left of screen to 1 Sneak White right of screen.
It'll be interesting to see how the tall fella on White goes, especially when they get their captain Sam Ogden back, to see if they can use his height. Greg?
Yeah, we've got 2 Gregs in this White team. We've got Windsor and Schrader.
Both their deep targets, I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, Ogden will make a big difference to this team when they get him back.
Ooh, no, that was fun. Looked like a miscue.
And cleaning up the scraps.
That was a good look for the poach there. Saw it, sends it.
Doe with confidence, just says, I'll take this with one hand. That's how confident they're playing at the moment. But it's a great put by Ang there. Foresight there, vision, just puts it way out ahead of Doe for him to run onto. And yeah, we have trading at the moment, so playing at 2s.
They went back to man, which is interesting because they did get the turn out of the zone earlier, but yeah. Went back to man and a bit of a poach or something. I didn't actually see what happened, but he was out in front, Seng sent it, so well played. Connor's really stepped up to lead as well lately. He's looking a lot more confident on the disc. He's making less errors. And he's really wanting to push his leadership and be better, which is amazing. He seems like he's a lot older than 22. And he's still a part of the under-22s and leading the way, I think, on the O-line of that team.
He's that sort of guy, really. He's been doing that from year dot. I think he's been putting his hand up left, right and centre to further himself and better himself, and it's a good mindset to have no matter whether you're playing ultimate or off the field in everyday life, and he's got that.
And ultimate is a good way of building skills.
Absolutely.
Life skills.
And
I should know after 10 years.
it's a great sport. And Fletcher with the ball has been speaking with Ogden, and Ogden giving him a bit of feedback of what he wants the team to do here. And they're looking to keep it in the middle of the field a lot of the times, what I heard.
No round. Hands up.
Pick called. That's probably why Swartz is so free. Windsor calling that pick, just discussing and explaining what was going on.
Swart looked a little rusty at training the other day. He sent a few missed throws. We'll see, he loves the flick huck, but he's, there it is.
That's what he loves.
And he sends it into a pack.
Which he loves.
And he got away with it.
Yeah, it's good to have Whiten as your receiver when you do that.
Yeah. Sometimes, though, when Scott gets away with it, the other team is okay with it because it means he has confidence to send it again and again and again.
Yes.
And the odds aren't always in his favour.
We'll see how he goes this game, hey? So Swart to Whiten for blue to make the score 3-2.
It is very tough to get a turn out of without much wind, so you really got to make the most of it when you get it.
Yeah, they're going to come from sort of simple mistakes, probably more than likely unforced errors. You know, you're thinking, hey, it's a great night for Frisbee, and you just take your eyes on the disc, lazy catch, you're looking upfield before you catch it, or you just put a bit too much angle on it accidentally.
It is fairly early in the season as well for men's league, and a lot of guys probably didn't really get into the into state league.
Yep.
Only just starting outbreak training, so it's time to sharpen up, step up to the Super League level, and then Nationals level, hopefully.
Foley with a lovely floating pull. It's going to just stay in. Doe's going to catch that one. Slight breeze from right to left of screen. Putting on a zone defense again.
Interesting zone.
That's a big disc.
And there it goes.
Yeah.
The zone was working for him. It's good. That was a 3-3-1, I think. A little bit looser as well with the mark.
So the Captain Tran brings it up to the line with the novice Edgeworth on the mark. That's slow. That
just up.
Skims the grass. Could have hit a
My
blade.
humble opinion.
Not surprised that people were saying that it was down. It only needs to touch one blade of grass to be called down. Asking the sideline.
Might have been a flower poking up.
An unpollinated flower.
That's it.
Foley up
Very
the line.
good defense by Hong upfield. Shutting down.
Oh, that's
up in the air.
floaty.
No, John's
Brilliant
great in the
grab.
air.
Done a
Great
lot
in the air. Not so great at throwing, apparently. And seeing beautiful D.
Yeah, mock there, jumping early again, making Stevens jump early again as well.
There's a hole, but not funny. Very loose cup.
Doe with the disc in the middle, puts it across to Mock, centering it back to Fletcher, working almost with four handlers here.
Mock is still on the sideline.
Yeah, nice high release flick there from Fletcher.
Still there.
The thing that's missing from this offensive handler line is a good hammer throw to the mid.
Yeah, if you're afraid to put it, the defense closes in, everything closes in, gets very difficult. So you need to have the confidence.
Things look small pretty quickly when you're in that position, don't they?
Yeah. There's a joke there. Here's Greg. We'll see. Yep, nice. And he's got an option, but he's looking back. That's smart. That's good. That's what you want.
Oh, Windsor gets away with that one.
Okay with giving up a bit of ground.
As the wind does pick up a little bit now.
The cup recovers.
It's got time to get that.
Seng always picks those up.
Almost had the collision there between Fletcher and Ang. Bit more communication needed. Give go, boys. Give go, boys. Don't make it static. Keep the disc moving. Keep the zone moving. Fletcher knocking on the door of the end zone. Ramadan now making a bit of a move. They're still very static.
He's got a lot of options back, so he doesn't mind looking for a while.
They've just got to keep the patience, not force
and
anything.
He's just sitting there without any trouble. That's good. Fletcher will look for a while. He's going to look at the hammer. He loves the hammer look.
We've got Foley and White as our deep defenders, and they're very experienced, so they're going to stop any of those hammers. It has to be through the front of the end zone is the only way they're going to get the goal.
That's how they do it.
Just as
nice.
we speak.
You're right. Yeah, as it got closer, it seemed like they decided to take a half of the end zone each. Foley probably communicated that. didn't quite get him there in the end, but
Getting your time out, but you don't need to worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Scores at 3s. Looks like my wish is going to be granted. We are going to have just a ping-pong game here. What do you think of the offense? Just the way that they were willing to move that back and forth that time from White.
well, it was really interesting because they were happy to give up the backwards look, and White just kept putting it back, waiting, and eventually found a little hole, got through.
And that's what Sammy Ogden did relay to Connor Fletcher to pass on to the team, which is like, just let's center it. Let's have that more short ball, small ball sort of play, which is a newer style here in South Australia. We've obviously for a long while been reliant on, heavily reliant, I would say, on hucking long game. We do have a fair few tools. And so...
Some big throwers.
Yeah, big throwers, exactly. Yourself, one of them.
Oh, thank you.
And so...
In the last game,
well,
you have to tune in to see.
Yeah, exactly. So to change up that style is a big change of mindset for a lot of people.
Or you could just go with it and hope that it gets you across the line. I don't know.
Hope and a prayer, exactly. Yeah, that wins lots of games, I think.
If only there was a Benji in the league.
Ah, Benji, we miss him. Where are you, mate? Call us up.
He's heading overseas to for a year-long Frisbee academy with a little bit of uni on the side.
Well, we're opening up the hotlines. Bring Benji back. 1-800.
South
Bring
America.
Benji back.
Yep.
Donate if you want to on the hotline. All donations are accepted and tax deductible, I believe.
It's a hard sell. South America looks good. They're very short as well compared to Benji.
Does he need anyone else to look any shorter than they do already when standing next to him?
It'll be an interesting shock for them.
It certainly will. Where did this god come from? So Fletcher talking to the troops down left of screen at the moment. Look, they're not doing anything wrong as far as I can see. Both teams are again on serve. They just need to find that opening to get the break.
He's just telling the two Gregs, just be deeper.
Be more
bigger.
Greggy. Be more Greggy.
Yeah. A lot of talk for that one message, but I think it's important.
I might just be saying it over and over to get the message through.
I think so.
So both teams, I believe, playing with full complements tonight. No outs. So that's 10, which means 7 on the field, 3 subs. Fletcher
Very
again
impressive.
with a pull. That's a bit lower this time. Still like starting it from from close to screen to away from screen. Mackenzie picks it up.
A bit of
off
a travel
ground.
on
yeah,
the pickup.
Probably did get
an run through.
An extra 1.5 steps in.
Oh, Wilson, he was looking up. Ready to throw the next one.
Sold it before he bought it.
Nice around throw.
I thought Ramadan had misread that one for a second.
That's a great look. Lovely break side. They're very wide, using the field.
Yeah, good use of the width.
Brill on Greg, interesting matchup.
Ramadan and Mackenzie is a great matchup as well for speed as well. A really nice matchup. So and Foley's poaching the lane, letting P go off. Stops the one to Windsor. That works very well. Great read of the play by Foley defensively. Ramadan not getting much upfield.
Nice pick up.
That's what
Sticky
we're talking
hands.
Yeah, Ang has those. Can get really good height.
Gets very wide on his throws. Very handy. Nice, Dylan.
Static stack at the moment, vertical stack. Oh, that's a zippy one.
That's a great break throw. Ferdy provides a lot on this offense.
Now, I'm not too sure about the club selection there by Doe. I think he went for the wedge and should have gone for something else.
Yeah, Fedi Ramadan here on defense as well. He provides a hell of a lot on D. He's probably the toughest person to have marking you. And that's with Sean Lace around and a few other really good experienced defenders.
I don't know if we will get that on replay again, but Fletcher read that off of the hands of Ang and made up a lot of ground to get in that contest with Whiten. And as I say that, yeah, it was Tran to Swart for the goal.
That's his specialty. He picks up some of the lower end defenders and just works them around and finds holes. Or less experienced defenders, should I say. Scott Swart, how many Super Leagues has he played now? He's got a lot of experience. 6. There you go.
And he's available for all 10 matches, so that's good to see. He'll be here.
Yep. They've got pretty good availability. Rob may miss a few, which dropped him down, I think, in the picks.
Yeah, picked third round.
No, second round, but
oh, sorry, second round, yes.
Yeah, yeah. But he's often a top round draft pick, and those maybes scared a few people off, I think. So Brills actually looks like he's taking a bit of the leadership here for Blue. Maybe organising the defence.
Tran is off the field at the moment.
Organising the cup. We'll see if he's still loose. Yeah, it's still quite a loose zone. They're happy for him to muck around with it back. They're happy for him to have it back. Force the hammer over the top.
Oh! High to low. Nice reception. Good safe hands by Ang. Move it down the sideline. Yeah, nice look into the inside.
Oh.
Don't know if anyone got a hand to that. It was just a missed throw. Both players not quite on the same page, though.
Foley's got a big flick, but he's looking it off.
Stevens goes long, not looked off. Sanderson.
Oh! Strip, yeah.
Just off the body
Greg
of Schrader.
Footy. Sando's looking sharp.
He hasn't lost any.
There's the flick. He's very happy with it, but that was a safe one.
Yeah, Swart with his second upfield, longer upfield. Brill as well. Aiden just needs to catch that.
Lovely. Brill's got one of the, I don't know what you think of this, but have you noticed his flick technique is very different to everyone else?
I do notice. I don't know how to describe it.
It almost looks like Kyle O, the way that he holds it and releases it.
I'll have another look at that.
Yeah. It's effective. Very much a sporting background. He knows what he's doing.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's it. It was his backhand that turned earlier, so.
So that's the first break, and that gives Blue a 5-3 lead. Flatball Z in the lead. Tran as captain will be happy with that.
Absolutely. His message, I can hear it from here, keep cutting hard. Solid. He was directing that at Tim Stevens and Rob, by the looks of it, and the two hardest cutting. They've got a lot of hard cutting people on that line. Jeez. Maybe they're the pick for the league. Originally my weakest at first glance, but Sando's proving to be very strong. A lot of motors.
Yeah. Foley with a backhand OI pull. Lands just short of the end zone. Ramadan with the disc. Zone look by Blue.
This is a pommy now. The 4-2-1, but Wilson went right in on that and stopped the upfield. That's his job.
Yeah,
as a wing.
Mitchell probably a
Just
bit
don't
close
let it
there on the
continue.
pommy, but
That's it. Foley's looking around.
yeah,
Just stop the continuation as the wing. That's your main job.
he's working those wings very well, preventing anything up the line. We've got Tran on this side as well, pushing his way in defensively, stopping the overhead to Edgeworth. He'll come across. He'll let that one
That's
go.
fine.
They're not really making any ground. Comes in. That
Yeah.
leaves a deep open.
No,
Not
very
taken.
wise. Rob was all over it, and Foley dropped back. Good team cohesion.
Or they need to talk. Fletcher needs to work on his talking game when he comes in. That's twice he's almost collided with his own teammate.
And
looking for the scuba.
Yeah, he loves the scuba over the top. It's very effective. There it is around
there it is.
the
Edgeworth
outside.
needs to move up the line quicker than that.
Wilson can't get away with it 4 times. 3 maybe.
Fletcher playing very close for that swing.
Only 2 handlers now, and he's happy with that.
They could probably make a bit more ground if they just do a bit of give-go hopping between the handlers up the field. I reckon they could make an easy 20 metres.
Yeah.
The handlers are just throwing and they're being very static after they throw.
That's the way.
Nothing in the
but
middle
now
there.
They've lost all their handlers. They're very eager to get out and run around, and that's can be good.
So that's the one. Fletcher's upfield now and could probably make another couple of metres upfield if he wants, instead hanging back for the dump. Not such a bad thing at the end of the day. But you don't want to keep having to rely on those scubas, because sooner or later there is going to be a defensive play that's going to come in and read it ahead of time and get that D. Doe's just towing the line.
Yeah, the wings are always looking for it. Sneaks one through.
Found a hole there, couldn't make extra advantage of it.
Tim is a big mark.
Give go, boys.
Yeah, that's it. High hand to stop the scuba. He's happy with that, and he gets.
Now he forces that. Bit of edge on that. Wind could play a factor in the defensive positioning here.
And stop the around Tim. Oh, that's all right.
Stevens doing a lot of leg work to stay on that mark. You can see he's tied at the moment.
Easy dump to the downwind side. I guess they're trying to give him that.
So like a few points before, I'm actually, while I've sort of like maybe been semi-critical of the handler movement on the give goes, they're working up really smoothly. They're taking their time to get it there.
And go.
Yeah,
okay.
Nice little over the top to the front. Yeah, they're probably not going to make it to the back of the end zone with those scores, just like before when they're working it the other way. They need to make it to the front of the end zone. Ramadan providing that target in the end zone again.
The wind has picked up a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed, but
yeah,
just a touch. Still not what you would normally call a windy game for a zone, but both teams electing to give it a whirl. Different styles a little bit, but a lot of talk to adjust the zone. In the first game, there's a lot of cohesion that needs to be worked out.
So I didn't quite catch who called the timeout then. Did you, Andy?
No, I missed it. Often it's the team that loses the point, though.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to figure out who would have been more knackered after that point, who would have been more tired out, who needed it.
Blue looked, well, Tim in particular looked quite knackered, as you said, as he was chasing around on the mark.
Tim was definitely knackered.
And there was a lot of talk trying to adjust things from the Blue, so it seemed like they were eager to have a chat.
Don't take risks. Easy, easy. Just back around, swing across, yeah? Wait for those gaps and then punch through, yeah? I think we can do a bit better of recognizing when we're swinging, yeah? They like to bite a lot. So really look to sit on that inside. Wait for that handler to fake the outside, bring them around a bit, and then shake them, yeah? I think we can get a little bit more. Yeah. Let's look for those connections. You know we can throw a whole bit. Cool. Let's keep you go now? Defensively, yeah. 1, 2, sneak.
So just listening in on the Flatball Z timeout. Tran just sort of reasonably happy with what's going on, but obviously they do need to get a turnover and then score from that, which is pretty much the basic message. What did you hear from the white team, Andy?
Oh, well, I was just saying they got the score, but they're eager to work out ways of doing it more smoothly. They were talking about stretching the field out wider, I think, and throwing in a fake. Well, that's what it looked like they were talking about.
Yeah.
There was a lot of animated talk. So here's a couple of the boys. Was I spot on? Nice. Probably not.
So we've got both Ramadan and Doe off for this point, and they've been working hard.
Defense. Ramadan, a man D handler guard expert, and he's not on, but I guess they're running the zone, so I would say he's possibly the best. Reminds me of myself when I was a youth. Phil?
Were you as fast as him then?
Oh, mate, I'm still faster.
Still faster?
No, that is not true.
Throw down the challenge,
Except
mate.
officially, I'm still faster.
Officially. Always goes for the official line.
Yeah. It's on UE. They're going to run another Disc Olympics. No, most people don't even know what I'm talking about now. It's been so long. I think it was 8 years ago, the last Disc Olympics they held. But
yeah, it would be nice to bring that back, actually.
I've still got the biggest hammer as well.
Yeah. Run, throw, and catch.
Yeah, I did not win that, unfortunately. I was very frustrated about that. I can't remember who won that. I was best dressed as well, so I still hold that title.
Well, that's definitely an important one.
At a dress-up tournament.
A big outside in down this near sideline as the pull. Mackenzie picks it up, send us to Sanderson. Foley hammers it back over the top.
Sando is proving to be a very handy pick. Very solid. On the blue team, Ferdy thinks he's the best handler on the blue team. Best handler in the league. In the blue team. Close second in the league. To me.
Well, this zone's working well for both teams.
Rob's going back. He's happy to hold it. Cycling around. They're definitely not short of people behind the disc.
Mitchell will dump this back to Foley.
Got to try and get a bit more pressure on those wings when they get the disc, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't give them an easy dump.
I think the difference there is when you saw Foley, just had that precision of touch to be able to just work it around the zone cup look to get it up the field in just a couple of throws. And that's what was missing on the white team, as we were saying before. A lot of good throws on the white team, don't get me wrong there, but not necessarily they don't have those same throws that Foley just exhibited then.
Yeah, Foley's a very handy player. He was nominated for whatever they call it now, MVP of SAFTAs, but they've called it Player of the Year or something like that now, which is fair. It's I think it's a better title, even though I don't even know if that's actually accurate, what they call it. But whatever they call it, I remember thinking it was a better title.
Yeah.
And I think he deserved that. And, yeah.
Nice accolades to have, especially for a father-to-be.
Yeah, because it's all over from here, isn't it?
Well, no, you know, we've got it here in Ultimate, both in South Australia and around the country. You know, we've got Ultimate families coming up left, right and centre. And so, yeah, they've got a kid due in February. Best wishes to the Foley family, Kristen, as well.
Absolutely. Outside in, bit of a roller pull maybe. Yes, and did it go out?
He's taking it from there, so I assume it landed and stayed in, didn't touch that sideline.
Oh, nice.
That's a lovely breakthrough. Nice vision.
A lot of core strength for that throw.
Yeah, nice vision from Fletcher. Schrader
pivot.
goes long. It's got Whiten on him. It's not going to come. It gets dumped instead. Ang with the swing.
Oh, nice. He's got those extendable hands that he somehow sticks to the disc. And that's unfortunate.
More than unfortunate.
Bit
It's
of
a turnover.
bit of an off step.
Yeah.
Wrong-footed.
So not the first time we've seen that come out on the sideline from White.
You don't get a lot of chances either.
Mitchell provides a lead in the middle.
Oh, maybe you do. Maybe it's windier than I thought.
Maybe you do indeed. Swart made a good lead then, just wasn't able to capitalise on it with the throw.
So looks like Greg's setting up on a sideline. It's a 5-person horror.
We've got a hoe going on here.
Deep 5-person horror.
Now Schrader comes back to provide
There we
assistance.
go. And very deep. Easy to cover the unders. I think the point of the horror is to create space deep, not under, generally.
Generally speaking.
Yeah. It's a tough one when they set up so deep.
I think you make a choice. You say either deep and under or short and deep. If you do it midfield, then what you want to be telling players is take what's given.
Yeah, they're getting away with it here, but it doesn't look comfortable. There we go.
Swart was on the back of Windsor there.
It's a bit too lateral cutting when it's when you're looking for the unders from a horror. And they get it back.
Canless missed. That's what misses
that shame.
catch. Edgeworth with his back to the disc probably could have gone deep, but
under his armpit.
Schrader, will he try and flex his wings here?
He likes a hammer, but he's being disciplined.
Very disciplined. Whiten's poked him deep. Whiten's really gone
to the end zone.
Whiten's gone off of Schrader totally here, leaving him free. Now he comes back in to pick him up.
Oh, he starts behind with a sideline force. Very difficult to get off, but he managed.
Big jump from a long way out. That's a nice sharp flick to Ang. Looking to isolate Ramadan in the end zone.
There's the extendable arms again.
Yeah. That was lovely work then from White. They've brought it back now. As we see there on the replay, Connor to Ang. Ang's just looking for the ISO Ramadan's cutting, faking out Mitchell. Hasn't played probably as long. Yeah, put his back towards the player he was marking. Ramadan took advantage of that, cut back, gets the easy score.
Too easy. With a nice break, but should be easy.
Scores are back, 5 apiece.
I've come across a few players like Ramadan with those extendable arms. They just somehow find a way to get that little bit extra out of their reach, right when you think you're going to get the D. Not so much in that case, but he showed it earlier. Another aggressive catcher is Ben Foley. He always catches it right out in front and gives that last little kick. And Wilson's another one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joel Pillar used to always annoy me. He would always just reach out that little bit further right at the last second.
So correction on my score, check before. It's actually 5-6 to Sneak. Or 6-5, put it better, to Sneak.
That's a big pull. Should land right in the back. If not, was it out of bounds? Maybe slid out. Bounced out. So we've got another zone, very loose with Connor. Right out. Looks like a, it's a 3-3-1.
Lovely stretch of the field here by Blue, using the sideline. Stevens probably could come a bit wider in the deep for Blue, just to stretch Schrader. We've got Swart on the other side as targets, but...
And nice deep. Edgeworth, unfortunately, robbed of the 3 points. What was the call? Foul. He said, "You pulled my armpit hair. It's not on."
As they transition into match D.
Oh, Greg, big mark. Scott staying behind. Lovely generation by Foley. Sando's looking sharp even out in the field. And
Duran puts a hospital ball up.
Almost brought down.
Almost gets away with it.
Brill has a very good read of the disc. Maybe even drew a foul there, which is impressive given the given what he had to work with.
Yeah, Ang definitely had favourable position at the front of that.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising. Two of them, they should have sandwiched him.
We see on the replay here, and there we go. Yeah, Ang's coming back. Might have got a little bit of his arm on that one, which affected the ability to catch it.
It's uncontested by the looks of it.
Be a foul. So brings it to the front play immediately as soon as he starts
straight up force right on the end zone, risky.
Yeah, not.
I don't know what the force is meant to be, but no. Sando looks like he's still 21. I never saw him when he was 21, but
you see it on the replay.
I first met him when he was 30. Younger than what I am now. Thought he was so old at the time.
So Foley with his trademark, just bend the knees, go down low. Actually, slight fall backwards there on the replay that we saw.
Sneaking away with a couple of breaks. Slowly edging away, but it's definitely not over for White. Maybe lacking a little bit of an idea of what to do, having a think, scratching their heads. Blue going match, apparently. Sando and Singh. Sorry, on... where is it? On Ang, we call him. Old habits die hard. My apologies. And Sando with the pull. Looks like he's going backhand. He has been practicing that for years. Watching disc golf videos. Up the line and hand block. Sando. David Sanderson. Maybe he's making a surge for Masters.
Definitely, he's always in.
I hope he's put his name in.
Good contention for that.
Or Grandmasters.
Yes.
He might even qualify. The Aussie team looking very strong for the Gold Coast, the Grandmasters team.
Mitchell with his second score from Tran.
Lovely, they're sneaking away. Pardon the pun. I didn't even mean to do that. Well done, Sneak. Rob is very happy. Still a nice night. Beautiful night for Frisbee. Quite a few people hanging around, enjoying the show. Stats will be on the website or somewhere. We're going to have our own black market fantasy league, though. Outbreak outruling it.
Yes.
For the season. I think I'll have to get a kitty together.
Definitely need to do that.
Maybe for who's going to top the stats or something. The score, Connor Fletcher has asked.
Yeah, we're going to check that in a moment. I think maybe our scores might be out.
It seems like it's 8-5, according, because it was 7-5 before that goal.
Yeah.
And 8-5, I believe.
I'll get back to you in the score in a moment. We've got the half-time break, so we're going to take a break here as well. See if we can get some inside goss from both the teams, and we'll join you momentarily when second half resumes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, both of you. I think I thanked Rex already. Thank you, Rex. He does like 100 times. And the pool goes up. Ferdy looks like he's the axis for this line without Sam Ogden here. It'll be interesting how he fits in when Sam does come back. Ferdy Ramadan.
Probably move upfield
Big easy
a
under.
bit.
Looks it off. Very deep.
I like this look from White. They've really opened up the field.
Huge gainer because of it.
Will he dive for that? Yes, he will. Doesn't get it. It was a nice look. Just needed a metre more inside and a metre more on height for the flight and float.
He'll always send himself for those. Always.
Yeah, we haven't seen
He's
a lot
of great influence for Outbreak since he's been here.
Haven't seen a lot of aggression from Fletcher in those long puts.
Some great defense by Edgeworth and Mock, but calls a foul on himself maybe, I don't know. No, uncontested.
I like the way Mock's turning up the heat as well.
He's a surprising one. He sends it when you don't expect it. He's got a big jump on him. Squaring into the middle of the field.
Going deep.
Lovely.
Outstretched hands are falling. Swartz still going.
Swartz player probably called a pick. Yeah, it looks like it was tongue way back. No, it was.
You did go up for it, Scotty. You did go up for it, so. do a bit more over there. Honestly, I think you'll hang along the break that helps you. Because I like when we still
Foley will look at it. Definitely.
Says, no, it's
Very
not coming.
unlikely for those to come after
I love
been looked
the way
at once.
Foley's just talking to himself on the mark. Yeah, no, that's not going to come.
It looks like they're running a no dump offense.
Schrader
Just
hard
cutting
on
from
that.
the front of the stack. I used that last year with my team.
Effectively?
Yeah, well, I mean, we won. Just.
We'd say that's effective.
It was enjoyable to play. We ran it with outbreak, so.
Look, that was a lovely put
that
by
was.
Mackenzie. Puts his hand up and says, hey, look at me, champion.
Another one. I picked him last year. He was very handy. In the middle, you can often get him as for a bit of a bargain because captains don't know how much he's been training and how much he seems to just keep it together though over the off season. Still second fastest man in South Australia.
We'll keep that one going for as long as we can. Now the score 9 to Flatball Z in blue and Sneak in white at 5. Mackenzie smiling as he comes off. And why wouldn't you when you've got that sort of throw? One of the best throws I think you can do in Frisbee when you're in that red zone. Get it over to one side and send it across to the other. It's usually unguarded.
What can White do to get back in this game? They talked a lot about gelling. And once a team starts talking about gelling for the next games and for the season, they're trying to stay positive. So, yeah, I think they've maybe felt like they exhausted all their options, which is sad, but I don't think that's true. I think they've got a lot to give, a lot to offer here. They've got some big players who can lift. And I mean, it's always a good thing to find gel. And
it is indeed.
Find connection, should I say.
I think what I'm seeing here in Super League at the moment, it's the early stages, is that when the team's behind, sometimes they wait a little bit too long to make the changes that are needed to get back on the scoreboard the way they want to.
That's right, yeah. You got to keep things moving, keep things changing.
It's a very,
Don't be shy.
very tactical game at this level. Lay out for that. Oh, Greg doesn't want it, but Plea's in the way as well. He makes a bid for it, doesn't get it. It's on the ground, back into the hands of Blue. And the stalwart Sanderson is going to pick it up. Going long.
Oh, that is... Yeah, he's gonna read it. Nice.
Yeah.
He's had enough experience running deep for those outside in darts.
Normal matchup is Schrader with Whiten, but Schrader going backwards for that, not able to get it. Gave a bit of a head shake to that, but Whiten was straight onto that, and it took a while for Schrader to find Whiten. By that time, he was already in the end zone with disc in hand.
Talking about the defenses that and being confident to play a different look or different defense. One of my favorite sayings is never lose a game without trying a zone. And I mean that is not the case tonight. They've both tried zones, but it's the sentiment is that you've got to try things. You can't die wondering. I mean it's a defense point. They're expected to score it. You got to give things a go.
Absolutely.
And if they score it easily, what have you lost? Okay. An opportunity, but you've given yourself a chance as well in some respects.
Absolutely. At some point, your defense is going to win you the game because you've got to get that break.
Exactly.
And even if it is like a stillish night like tonight, like you're saying, it doesn't hurt to try something different. Put the zone on, see if it works. And even if you put one zone on, try a different zone maybe because it might not have been the feel for that night. And
as this old book that I once listened to people talking about. I never read it, but it was about Ultimate. It was one of the old classic books about Ultimate, one of the first. And they said a zone might not work at the time, but it disrupts the thinking, and maybe it pays dividends later. Because they have to change it up a little bit. They have to think.
It wasn't a black book, was it, by any chance? I remember reading some of those early books on Ultimate as well. Good advice, sage advice, which is still good for...
And that's a nice D.
Yeah. Wilson Tran elevates to get a lovely D.
Wilson's very athletic at the moment. He's been training very hard for Beach. He had a ripper season. And that's a good enough throw. That's his favourite throw, the outside in flick.
Blady.
Blady flick into the slot.
Did one of those earlier, didn't quite work out, if my memory calls is correct, but that one was spot on.
Yeah, he might need to put a few other throws in his repertoire. I've told him that a few times. I don't know if he cares for my advice, but
We'll take your advice.
I'll give it anyway.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, he had an amazing season at, from all accounts, at Beach Worlds, and I saw him in their preseason at Beach Nationals, and their team beat us on Universe Point, and a big part of that was Wilson. He was man of the match for them in an Australian rep team. He played outstandingly, especially on defence.
Yeah, Wilson Tran, obviously he's played Beach Worlds for Australia where they got a bronze, so he's very happy with that result and getting a medal around his neck, which is why he's been called for a captain in this league. Obviously he's got you know, good skills and experience to show for that.
He's been a captain a couple of times now.
Yeah.
Often he doesn't want to be captain, and he sort of
very
gets
humble
given
player.
It, yeah, if there's not quite enough experienced players who want to do it.
He'd much, I think, prefer someone else to be in the spotlight, but by the same token, he's quite comfortable when he does get it put on himself.
Yeah, and I think he's gotten better at it as well. He used to really dislike picking because he didn't like the pressure.
Yeah.
But now he seems to have done a good job this time.
How many Super League teams have you had to pick now, Andy?
Well, this is my 4th season. Yeah.
Is it getting easier each year?
No, I made a couple of mistakes this year. I was not. I like to get eyes on players myself.
Yeah,
I didn't get enough eyes on players.
What was one player you really would have liked to have got?
Sam Kayon.
Sam Kayon.
I overlooked. That was the biggest mistake I've made in Super League draft, and it was a mistake that I realised straight away. Other mistakes I've made, I've thought were a good decision. That one I just overlooked the fact that I didn't cross him off the list.
Yeah.
And he was still up there, and I'd missed it, and that was silly. But I'm still confident overall with my team anyway. It was funny because he actually went a few more picks before he was picked up, and I was so shocked when I realised I missed him. I was frustrated, but as it turns out, he's missing a few games that other people on my team are also missing, so might be okay. Without giving too much away, he did punish us a little bit tonight.
Yeah, so Sam Kayon,
you'll have to tune in to see.
Picked on Zimmer, picked round number 5, and a veteran of 10 Super Leagues, so not surprising.
Being picked first round a few years in a row, only missing 3 or 4 games.
Availability was an issue for him, only available for 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, that's a lot of games though. He's dropped a lot for not many games missing, so
we'll see if it's good value for money. We'll stay tuned to the Super League and ULTI.TV channel and see how all players go here.
Unfortunately, my team has to play the Zimmer Black, Marty's team, with Sam Kayon, I believe, every single time we drew the short straw. Just
to rub salt into the wound.
Yeah, that's right.
No. That's not to the pool though.
Pool did drop backwards a little bit. That happens sometimes, sits in the air and loses a few yards.
Nice cheeky sort of over the head flick just to the centre. Working back with 4 handlers, essentially. I think Ramadan and Fletcher pushing a bit too close there. And there's no one to help.
Interesting zone. Very eager with the points to run for the dump.
No support on this line.
Sort of a new style. There we go.
Mock in the middle. That's what we wanted to see. Stretch them.
That's how you punish it. In the gap.
Mackenzie turns, sees Edgeworth. Edgeworth runs under, but we've got Doe. Yes, it's Doe, and does a lovely impersonation of wearing a Frisbee hat.
With Greg's experience as the popper, it's a tough one to stop. As if they let those gaps, let him find the gaps. Very tough to stop.
See the replay there. Sneak get one back to make it 6-11.
They talk a lot about finding a break. They haven't, I don't know what they're doing to find the break. What did they do that time? That
I think they went back to basics, which I think they sort of did ask for a little bit in the
well, they started
halftime
on
huddle.
offense, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my mistake, I believe.
But the basics that they stayed with is like just nice movement, 100% passes, nothing, you know, that you would, what would you say, that's risky. And that's the way they've scored a lot of their points tonight.
It looks like they're going match. Alfie on Sando. That'll be a lesson for him, potentially.
Mm.
Alfie's first Super League. Sando's 50th.
Happy birthday, Sando. I think that's what you're alluding to.
That's it. A great tradition, Sando's birthday.
South Australian tradition.
Happens every second week or so.
More frequently sometimes. Especially around national season.
Depending on how many tournaments he goes to.
Fletcher rips into that one, puts all of his arm into that.
That's a
coming
beautiful
in
pull.
the lights. You see Mackenzie has to let it drop so he doesn't. And that's in the end zone. So
Great
I really like to
pull.
see Sneak take full advantage of this. Flatball Z work it up to the front, have to dump back to Sanderson. Mackenzie on the outside. Now they get it outside their end zone. That's beautiful work. There's a lovely cut there to the back by Canless, covered by Schrader. Sanderson comes in.
And
Fletcher
that is a
reads
great
that
D.
off of the hand. He saw that coming a mile
That is his
away.
favourite kind of D. He gets punished for it sometimes, but pays off there.
Fakes Tran to the ground. Fletcher wants that corner, and they all want that corner, but he does that pass. Can Anglais out for this one? He does, but he doesn't get the disc in hand.
Sando, will he send the backhand? No. Prefers his flick generally. Ben Foley consistently providing.
Long Doe in with an amazing dive.
What a play. Greg looks unhappy.
Don't everyone get red zone fever.
They need this here.
Yeah,
they really
settle
need
down.
this goal.
Settle down.
Settle it down. Wilson asking for a stack. Dylan cutting into the end zone still. He should have cut forward into the disc.
Not in is the call. High flick.
And it works.
And that's Schrader. Doe to Schrader.
Man of the point. Unbelievable. Great couple of Ds. That's what they need. That's how they find it. Maybe just saying, find the D. That's all you need as inspiration.
Yeah, Doe returning the favour from the previous point where Schrader gave it to him in the end zone. Doe giving it to Schrader in the end zone here. Working on the same page. That's really nice to see. You see here in the replay. Where's Schrader? There he makes the cut, just breaks away. I think Canless was his man, wasn't quite expecting that. Puts on the burners.
As the kids say, breaks his ankles.
Yeah.
With a hip fake.
Yeah, Canless probably a bit too close to Schrader on that mark, that close to the end zone. Only need 1 or 2 steps and you've got the score like you saw then.
So how are they going to find the D again? This will be entertaining. I like this. There's a bit of fire in the belly.
It's good. I'd love to see them get to, 8, 9, obviously, because then you get the feeling if that happens that they'll get a bit more fire back into their belly.
That's it.
And they'll sort of like see the end line just within sight and within reach, and it's very much doable from there.
I told you at the start there's a couple of players that really can fire up on that white team. Now if he's eager to prove himself as a rookie, and he's going to find something here.
What do you make of the body language of Blue as they're walking to the stack there?
It really has dropped a little bit. Interesting. Just a couple of points and
Let's see if they put on a bit of urgency now.
And
Foley hangs his head for that one. Fletcher, don't get overconfident. Look for Ramadan in the middle. Swing it. Get to Schrader. Still got time. You don't need to push anything, boys.
all of a sudden, White look confident. Comfortable. Ramadan to Mock.
Mock makes a move. Solid handler. Edgeworth on the far side. Being
Lovely.
poached off
Oh,
of.
something cold.
Edgeworth comes back to the middle of the stack.
Connor has really worked on his zip as well to get around.
He has.
And 9.87 second
Stall count. Yeah, I heard that from here. Mock to Edgeworth. Edgeworth.
Cool as a cucumber.
They've been underestimating him, and he shows his flash of brilliance there, which is why he has been picked for the Super League.
Here we go. I love it. Dylan's getting back on the field. Dylan's defense has really stepped up. He's been working on his zip as well.
He's always been a good defensive player.
Running so hard.
You know, being put on, I think, defensive teams, he can run hard, he can run fast, he can read plays a lot of the time.
And he has my favorite attribute. I can't speak properly at the moment.
Okay. Bless you.
Other than speaking, my favorite attribute, enthusiasm, and eagerness to learn. He loves it.
Tonight's commentary brought to you by the numbers 1, 2, 3 and the language English.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be a struggle. That's all right.
We'll give Andy.
I'm enjoying it though.
Andy
I'm enjoying the
benefits.
game. I wouldn't be so eagerly watching if it weren't for the commentary.
He did play a hard game before this. Again, no spoilers. Have a look on the ULTI.TV YouTube
ripper
channel.
of a game.
You'll love every minute of it. This game, however, has had some really good action sequences, layouts, people just putting their all in. That's what we love to see here at this level.
That is a really good pull.
That pull takes out a few.
He's been putting a lot of work in for U22s.
Takes out a few moths in the spotlight. Floodlight.
Foley's got a big flick and still hasn't shown it tonight yet.
Oh, Doe just gets in the way of that big backhand pull because Whiten was going deep for that one. Whiten's hard under.
Still
He'll get that
deep.
one.
Yeah, very deep starting positions for these cuts.
Edgeworth loses Brill, but comes back to him.
Lovely put out into space.
This is the give go. I love that sort of action. Whiten's there, holsters the flick.
They're getting huge gainer unders because they're starting their flick so deep, but White's not adjusting to take the unders. What is it? Something on the field. Something's entertaining. I can't see it.
It's like a fox, I think.
Oh, there we go. It's on the camera. It's a little fox. It's not on the field. What's wrong?
He's got the
taking the cone. Oh, mate. That, yeah, do foxes have nests?
We did not see that coming. A bit of brilliance there. There he is. Still see him there. He wants that
Sam
cone.
O'Connell has chased the cone. Is chasing. Oh, it's still on the camera. Good. Get the night vision onto him. No, zoom in, zoom in.
We'll get back to the play. Sam
O'Connell's
coming from behind. Has he got it?
Speed.
He's running back. Nice work.
Oh, he got it.
Discus in play with one green cone in the back corner.
The end zone's a lot bigger at the moment.
I wonder what effect that'll have on the play.
Looks for the hammer. Yep. Sends it. And it's paid off.
Yeah. Safe hands of White.
Scary. Mackenzie.
Scott McKenzie. See the replay here.
Fantastic pickup in the draft. White's happy. They've started to get a couple of breaks back. We'll see if their body language drops it.
Yeah, so with Sneak, they've got 3 out of the last 4 points. Can they get another 3 in on the run?
I'm sure Sammy Ogden is watching. And
watching at home.
Yeah. Having a look at how his team's going. Watching in Bali. I believe he's still in Bali. Lucky fella.
Yeah.
Of course, he doesn't have anything better to do than to watch his team. I'm
Obviously,
sure
go all the way to Bali to watch your Super League team, which you captain.
Find a way, find some time. Toilet breaks.
Why wouldn't you? There's probably a nice bar there, which will show this.
Bali, love it. I hope you're having fun, Sammy.
Best wishes. We miss you. Come home soon, mate. Ben Foley with a big pull. Nice hang time. Tim Stevens running down. They're getting the mark on quite nicely there. Holds everything up for
Very
White.
deep
Ramadan
stack
in the middle.
still. And there's a pick called. Very deep stack. Easy, big gainer unders. Both teams are sort of letting him do that.
They did allow Ramadan to come from the deep and get that easy under and gain about 10, 15 metres though. And if that's part of the gameplay, that's a good thing.
And it looked like a 3-handler vert stack. Very, well, slightly unusual. And that's up.
It's actually a nice put, and the match I'm going to favour Greg Schrader over Wilson Trout.
And
was it a
strip
or drop?
No, you got it. You got it. Yeah. Strip is a goal, if both parties agree. And it's caught in the end zone, obviously, or stripped in the end zone.
So White, are they on another 3-point streak? What do you think? Can they keep this up?
I hope so. Yeah. And the Fox is back, giving him trouble. Connor using his energy to, he's got a lot of energy, luckily.
Maybe we might ask Sam O'Connell if he can just be point man
guard
over there on that corner. Is that something you can do, Sam?
It's all right. Free rabies shop. Just up the road.
They're cheeky around here, aren't they? He's still on the field. We can see him from here. He's hanging around. We do need someone out there.
Looks like Tilly. A lot less lazy than Tilly. They're sticking with match. I think it is the best option for them. They've, yeah, they've managed to find a few turns from it.
Mock not afraid to make a friend. Saying hello to the Fox. I wonder if he's figured out what noise a fox makes.
Very good reference.
As Blue now, Brill's going deep, not seen by Foley.
They're giving Scott Swart a lot of unders, but he's taking the dump every time, an easy dump. So he's very dangerous when he does that.
Schrader poaching off of Canless a fair bit to protect that deep space.
He's looking. That's it. If you can take his dump away. Good effort. Connor Fletcher. And his preferred flick inside.
Yeah, Foley to Brill.
Nice
Brill
throw.
with a beautiful bit of boxing out there on Canless. The lesser, or not lesser, the more inexperienced player between the two, I would say, possibly. And making it look easy in the end.
Yeah, Scott Swart really ran that offense there with his unders. He was given a lot of unders and took about 3 or 4 in a row. It was too easy until the shot opened up for Foley. It's not a bad move giving Scott the unders, but then you have to make the dump really hard for him. You have to put a lot of pressure on him, make him look upfield, get his eyes locked onto someone, and that's where you can potentially get a turn from him because he's very liberal with his throws. He likes to have a shot.
If you can bait that from any player, yeah, then that'll work for you. Get your defensive turnover.
You could almost forget the force just to stop the dump, and then once he looks upfield and he locks onto someone, you get the force back on. Interesting tactics that you'll see from my team probably.
Look forward to seeing them in
don't want to
action.
give away too much, but I always do weird things like that. Forget the force, boys.
Fletcher catches the pull on the near sideline. Goes up the sideline to Dylan P. Haven't seen much of him in the play.
The dump is tricky when it's behind like that, but he squeezes it out.
Perfect
Lovely
in
break
the centre
throw.
to Edgeworth.
Oh, Wilson with a sniff.
So who's left? Who's left? They haven't worked out who's been left.
Not happy with the inside. That's all right. He had time to look for the uphill. And the hammer across. That is that is actually an amazing hammer. Nervous out of the hands, but
White and right on the back of Schrader there. Let's look at this again. Fletcher, disc in hand. You can see
he
prepped
it's a
that
small gap.
really early.
I think Rob even knew he was looking for it, but any hint of float on that, and Rob would have had a really good shot at it. But he slotted it in there perfectly.
Absolutely.
In the end, Rob even baited it a little bit. He looked and he didn't commit to stopping that. Oh well, maybe next time. So it's worth baiting, I think.
Out of the last 3 points, 2 of them to White and both of them being Fletcher to Schrader.
Here we go, White. What a game. Only 3 points in it. What was the margin for a while there? It got up to about 5 or 6 maybe?
We had 11-8 and 12-8 a while back. So I've been trading a little bit now, but I believe time cap's being called. So game to 14. Thank you for the confirmation. Rex Johnson on camera doing a fantastic job for our games here. We really thank him. We thank also Mike Palmer, ULTI.TV, for sponsorship and giving us the equipment to be able to bring you this presentation. And thank you for the commentator, my co-commentators as well.
And it's gone, yes. Greg saw it coming, but too much distance. He had too much distance, and the throw was perfect out in front.
From Sanderson.
Any float would have been trouble. Oh, that's game.
Yeah.
What a game, actually. That was
a good game.
Very entertaining comeback
really
from White. Interesting to see the two teams fresh from the draft. Always fun to see how teams gel initially and what how people have gotten rid of their cobwebs after the off season.
Absolutely. So you've had a chance to see both games. So the 4 teams in the Super League this season. This is the end of round 1 now. You've had a chance to see all teams play. Who are your favourites other than your own team? Who are your favourites?
No, I think. I think the experience of the black team will really, they'll win a lot of games. So when they lose Sam K on, that will be interesting to see how they manage. But I think I underestimated the experience of Roden and Hurdy and a few of those other players. When they've got good players around them, they are very strong.
Yeah.
So they've got a very solid team, just did not want to give up the disc easily. I was surprised by Blue, actually. As I said, I picked him initially as the weakest team. And then looking again, I was like, okay, maybe Sando will be stronger than expected, as he was. Scary, another dark horse. You don't know
Scott
exactly.
McKenzie,
Sorry,
yep.
Scott McKenzie. You don't know what you're going to get from him necessarily because you don't see him a lot during the off season, and then he never fails to impress, but you always doubt it a little bit.
Tasman Mitchell's also in that sort of area that you don't see him in the off season. He just comes out for Super League.
You see him at the party on the dance floor, but
Oh, yeah, he rocks it going out there.
you don't know. You don't know. You got to see him do the Zorba to see how his joints are going.
Exactly. So on that
Injuries.
note, we'll just finish off. And so my co-commentator, Andy Baddock's got dibs on Black Zimmer to do well in this league. As we sign off, again, thank you, ULTI.TV. Thank you, Rex Johnson on camera. Thank you to myself, Phil Shields, and to my co-commentator, Andy Baddock's. We look forward to seeing you next on our live stream. Not live stream, we're going to upload them for the South Australian Super League. Bid you adieu and a good day or evening wherever you are. It's good night for me.
Good night from me. Thank you very much.